Alright, hey, Barakatah Yahweh Shem Shai. All praises, glory, and honor going to the Most High Power Yahweh in the name of His beloved Son Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that do real exceptionally well, and also shalom salutations, mercy and blessings to all the sincere brothers out there pushing this word with truth and with faith. My name is Thabo Amath of Great Millstone Northwest, and I want to share an article that I came across. Alright, and I like to cover this story because the mainstream media does not cover it whatsoever, and it's still based around North Korea. All right, because this seemed to have gotten swept under the rug here lately. The fact that the U.S. and North Korea have high tensions, as well as the U.S. and other countries have high tensions. Right now, the media is focused on a London terrorist attack, which has been a heavy time for the U.K. over there. They've had many terrorist attacks in the last couple of days, but nevertheless, getting to this article, it says U.S. missile interceptor systems won't stop North Korean shower of nuclear strike, as stated by the KCNA, which is a North Korean news company, I believe. It says Pyongyang condemned the successful U.S. ballistic missile interceptor test from earlier this week as a risky move, which will only bring earlier the day when the U.S. mainland will turn into ashes. Hey, which is prophesied, man. The U.S. mainland turning into ashes, that is prophesied in the scriptures, you know. Reading on, it says a spokesman for the strategic force for the Korean People Army told KCNA state news agencies that the U.S. ballistic missile interceptor test conducted on Tuesday is just a serious military provocation that brings to light the U.S. imperialists' wild ambition for igniting a nuclear war. He called the interceptor test a risky act that indicates U.S. preparations for undergoing a nuclear war against North Korea. Such foolhardy moves of the U.S. military only prove that North Korea's bolstering the nuclear force for self-defense is entirely just, according to the spokesman. And we know North Korea, hey, they're fucking crazy up in North Korea, man. They don't have all their marbles. It says, nor do the people that run the U.S., all right? We know that nuclear war is indeed coming because that's prophesied in the scriptures, man. It says the U.S. military, however, did not call the target of the test an ICBM from North Korea or even imply it. An unnamed Pentagon official told Stars and Stripes that the test was planned years in advance and was not a direct response to North Korea's two recent North Korean ballistic missile tests. The test was hailed by the Pentagon as an incredible accomplishment representing a critical milestone for the anti-missile program. This test demonstrates that we have a capable, credible deterrent against a very real threat, U.S. Missile Defense Agent Chief Vice Admiral, that's a long-ass title, James D. Siring said in a statement. Damn, that's a long-ass title. U.S. Missile Defense Agency Chief Vice Admiral. And it's Esau that always comes up with these grand titles for themselves, man. These grand titles, you know. It says North Korea, however, dismissed the result of the test as a bluff, as the ICBM interception system, according to the spokesman, would not prevent the shower of nuclear strike from North Korea. All right. And notice it says a shower of nuclear strike. And it's saying from North Korea, but really it's representing all the enemies of the United States, which is eventually going to turn out to be the entire world, man. The entire world is going to turn against the United States. All right. And they're well on track to do so. They're well on track to do so. If you have any idea about public relations between countries, intercontinental public relations, you can tell that it's going sour with a lot of countries with America and the rest of the world. They're not on the best of terms. especially with their king Donald Trump on the throne, man. It says they are now bluffing, bragging about the success in the test and the efficiency of the missile interception system, but the DPRK considers it just a foolish act of those driven to despair, the spokesman said. The last ditch the last ditch gambling of the Trump administration for a nuclear war will only bring earlier the day when the U.S. mainland will turn to ashes. And then the article reads on, but that's pretty much the point, all right? Actually, no. Let me continue. It says is the ability of Pyongyang to hit U.S. mainland at the moment is doubtful, as all the recent tested ballistic missiles have been short of medium range. The latest missile launched on May 28th flew 450 kilometers before landing in the Sea of Japan, about 300 kilometers off the Japanese coast. In May, Pyongyang announced that it had successfully tested the Pugaksong 2 intermediate range ballistic missile as a projectile was detected landing in the international waters off Japan's east coast. North Korea poses a clear and present danger to the U.S., which they don't really pose too much of a danger if their missiles aren't making it all the way. But this is all what is being reported. Remember, they do sometimes block out the truth. It says it says the North Korea poses a clear and present danger of the U.S. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis said on Friday, stressing that Pyongyang's actions are manifestly illegal under international law as they violate UN Security Council resolutions. The current North Korean program signals a clear internet in intent, a clear intent to acquire nuclear-armed ballistic missiles, including those of intercontinental range that pose direct and immediate threats to our regional allies, partners, and all the world, Mathis said. So, um, I like to cover these stories. I've done a couple of them in the past, through the past couple of months since the North Korean missile thing came into light. And Lord willing, I'll continue to cover them. And the reason I like to cover them is because the mainstream news does not speak about them whatsoever, man. But there is a scripture that I love to associate with this, and especially with this article that we just read saying that the U.S. mainland is going to turn to ashes, which the scriptures do indeed say it will. This is one of my go-to scriptures that I love to bring out. Is it 1 and 11? No, it's 2:11. So like, yeah, 2 Peter's 2 and 11. And you brothers probably already know exactly what this scripture is. 2 Peter's 2 and 11. 3 and 11? Salakia. 2 Peter's 3 and 11. Or is it 1 Peter's? Salak. 2 Peter's 3 and 11. I'm tripping. So, 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 11, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness. And the reason I love this scripture is because it always highlights that what we see before us is not always gonna stand. Let me go up and read verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, and the which the heavens shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be? Ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, man. So everything that's before us, especially here on the U.S. mainlands and various other parts in the world, will indeed be burnt up, man. It will indeed be turned to ash. All right. So that's prophetic what North Korea said about the U.S. being turned into ash and about missiles bombarding and raining down on this place. That's absolutely going to happen. But you brothers get the point. Feel free to look up that article. It's entitled, because I didn't read this earlier. It's like pressing the wrong thing. Here we go. U.S. missile interceptor systems won't stop North Korean shower of nuclear strike. This is found. I've read this off of the RT app, and this was published today's date on the 3rd of June 2017. All right. So with that, again, all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Power, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and shalom, salutations, mercy, and blessings to all you sincere brothers out there pushing this word with truth and with faith. Until next time, shalom.